Hello, my name is Kim and this is the Embroidered Elephant channel. Welcome. Today I am going to be doing a crochet podcast. It is actually podcast 20, which is amazing. And I also have some news to share, sort of probably more towards... No, I'll keep it for the beginning of the video so that you're not sort of waiting in suspense. How have you all been? Hopefully you have been busy crocheting lots of lovely things, or you've at least had some time to yourself. So I have been really well. Obviously I have been working quite a lot on my book blanket crochet project, and I have been reading so much, if I do say so myself. I've been reading so many books that I have now got a stack. This is just what you haven't seen so far, of granny squares for different books that I've read. I am also working on a short little video to go over all of the books that I've read and give my different thoughts about each of them, just in case you're wondering whether to read them or not. You might appreciate some of my input, or you might just be interested in what I've been reading. So yes, that will hopefully be out in the next couple of weeks. I have also been quite busy working on a video with my mother-in-law. So I went over to France recently and recorded a lovely video where I interviewed her about a project that she's completed recently that I think all of you will hopefully be interested in, because I was very interested in it. Unfortunately, there was a problem with the microphone. Hopefully there's not a problem with the microphone today. And the audio didn't work. So we're having to redo it, but hopefully that will be out in the next couple of weeks. So not too long to wait, but that was a shame because it looked like a really good interview, and it's not necessarily the same input when you're speaking to someone online as opposed to when you're sat next to them on the sofa, you know, laughing, making jokes, you know, just being a bit more friendly. But that's the way it goes. A little bit disappointed, and I'm sure that my mother-in-law is also disappointed, but what can you do? But yeah, personally I have been fine. I have been working quite a bit as well. I had my mum come over and visit from Cornwall a couple of weeks ago, or last week I think. So that was really nice, just to have some time off and to see her and my sister and spend time together and talk and chat and yeah, just spend some time together. I don't get to see my mum that often just because she does live around 4 or so hours away. So it was a lovely surprise. I would have been doing other worky stuff, editing videos, recording new videos, but I put that to the side and just concentrated on having a bit of a break and spending time with my mum, which was really nice. As I said, I wasn't expecting it as well, which made it extra special. One thing that I have got to sort of chat about today is that yesterday I went to my first ever knit and natter group. So it was run in a local library to myself, and there were around 3 other members there, which was really nice. They weren't necessarily of my age group. That isn't a problem. It was very interesting sitting with like-minded people and just working on projects. So I was working on a project that I will show you in a bit. I actually went with a bag of yarn and a crochet hook and just started the project there and just worked on it whilst I was there with everyone so that I could chat. It was an easy project that I didn't have to concentrate too much on. But yeah, it was, as I said, it was quite interesting to see different people, talk to them about their projects, get to know people a little bit. Apparently usually there are more members, but they were on holiday. There was a younger lady that came for sort of 10 minutes or so, but she couldn't stay for the whole thing. So hopefully next week she will be there, and hopefully I'll be able to go as well. And yeah, it was just really nice to speak to everyone. My aim is to get out of the house a bit more. Maybe it sounds silly, but get out of my comfort zone a little bit. It's really easy for me to just sort of sit at home and crochet alone, put a movie on or put some music on. However, I notice that I'm so much better in myself when I get out of the house. Usually when I go into town, when I go to the library, I walk there, so it just gives me that sort of fresh air, gets me out of the house and gets me a bit more active and talking to new people and sort of making new friends really. I have quite a good circle of friends, but I would like more friends that are interested in crocheting and, you know, knitting. I use that interchangeably. I don't know how to knit, but they're very similar. Obviously, it's a very similar hobby. So it's really nice to speak to like-minded people and get to know them, and especially because they are quite local as well. Other than that, I wanted to share, as I said at the beginning of this video, this is my 20th podcast. It has been going for a number of years. I can't even remember the year, which year I started my first podcast. I want to say it was around 5 years ago, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. I think it was just before the pandemic, or maybe during the pandemic. I can't remember. I will pop it below. It's been going for quite a while, and obviously I'm only on podcast 20, so I haven't kept up with doing a podcast every month like I had initially hoped I would. However, I feel like the channel has grown quite a bit since. I haven't rewatched my first videos. However, I know that my style has changed, my editing has become better, and I'd like to think I'm more focused. Maybe not. But yes, I feel as though the channel has improved. I really still enjoy doing it, and I really like being consistent and having a video out every week. And I really appreciate everyone who watches as well, and especially people who interact. If you don't, I still appreciate you. I also hit a milestone which might seem quite small to some people, but I haven't reached this milestone yet. So I have now got 500 subscribers, which, as I said, I've been running the channel for quite a few years. I've started to become more consistent, and I can see that people are enjoying my content a bit more. So to celebrate having 500 subscribers, as I said, it's a big milestone for myself. So as my way of saying thank you for 500 subscribers, what I am going to do is give away a £40 voucher for my shop. That will include free delivery to wherever it is that you live, as long as there's no, as long as I can get it delivered to you. I know there's certain countries that it's a bit difficult at the moment. And to enter this giveaway, you will need to be subscribed and just put a comment below saying what you would buy from my shop if you were to win the voucher. So the entries will be open until I release my next podcast. So you will have until the end of March to enter the giveaway. So I will be releasing the name of the winner on my next podcast, which will be released the first Saturday of April, which will be the 5th. I may comment under your comment, just to let you know that you are a winner before I release the podcast. Just be aware, you will be able to see that it's me that is reaching out to you and not a fake account, because it will have something next to my name that says content creator or something similar to show that it's my video that I am responding to, if that makes sense. So if you are in any doubt about someone contacting you, please send me an email. I will have my email in the description box if you have any queries about the competition. I will also need you to reach out once I release your, once I let you know you're a winner as well, because obviously we'll need to arrange getting in touch. So hopefully that's some exciting news. I find it quite exciting that I am doing a giveaway and that I've got 500 subscribers, people who are interested in my video, and 20 podcasts as well. This has been going for a few years now, so very exciting. Anyway, that's enough talking about competitions and talking about knit and natter groups and catch-ups. I will try and keep it quite focused, but today I am just feeling a little unfocused, so let's go with it. So the first project I have finished it, but not really. So it's an ongoing project, which is my book blanket. So as I said, I've released a couple of videos and I am making a granny square with 2 colours of hand-dyed yarn from an old blanket that I found. I ripped it back and the colours match the cover of the book, and I'm only crocheting it when I finish the book. So these are all the books that I finished so far in February. So there's 10 of them, and I just wanted to show you quickly the squares that I finished. So this is a project that is going to be ongoing for the whole year. So technically I can finish a granny square, but I won't finish the whole project until, as I said, the end of the year. So I've got quite a while to go. So far I've got 19 squares, so quite a lot. It is the 28th of February at the moment, so that's all I've got for February, which is fine by me because I've got a few other projects that I'm working on. As I said, because the yarn is frogged from a different project, I have no idea where any of the colours come from. So hopefully you don't fall in love with any of the colours because, as I said, I have no way of tracking back where they came from. I just want to add as well, in the next couple of weeks, I will be releasing a video about all of the books that I have read. I will be showing the books and probably the granny squares alongside them and doing a little bit of a review as well. So this will be out in the next couple of weekends. I am hoping to catch up soon and release another video so that, as I said, I can catch up in terms of the books that I've read, so that it will be so that every month I can have a monthly podcast where I sort of briefly show you the granny squares that I've done, and then maybe the week after or sort of mid-month I can do a bit of a book review where I talk about all of the books that I've read, just to give you some recommendations. So quickly, this was a book that is called Dead Simple. I haven't woven in any of the ends yet. That is a problem for another day, unfortunately. So Dead Simple was book number 10 that I finished. Book number 11 was The Handmaid's Tale, which was really good. Book 12 was The Trauma Cleaner. Book 13 is The Testaments. You can't see it too clearly, but this is a dark navy, it's not black. And it was also the second book of The Handmaid's Tale. Number 14 was Cat Lady. 15th, a classic, probably not for the right reasons, Brokeback Mountain. Number 16, Hello Mum. 17, The Replacement Centre. There are 2 different yarns that are used here, but they are very similar, so you can't necessarily tell the difference. There's a light green that I think is slightly variegated. And there is a browny greeny colour as well. Number 18, The Baby Is Mine. and number 19, Think Again. This one is by Jacqueline Wilson. It's a new book for adults. It's so good. I finished that last night. So those are the 10 granny squares that I've got so far. I think maybe when I get to 20, I'm going to be really tempted to lay them all out and see how they look together. I am really tempted to keep them in chronological order. As you can see, they are quite small. So my plan is to do some sort of border around each one. So white for books that I've read and a grey colour for audiobooks. Grey for the CD. Not that many people listen to CDs anymore, but I think that was quite a nice colour. So just to differentiate them and to add a bit of sort of similarity between them as well, to make them all sort of match. I'm not going to order that yet because I am convinced, although I would really love to and I'm really tempted to buy some, I'm convinced I won't have enough yarn to do the outlines of each of them and attach them all as well. And I really want to make sure that they match. And I also don't want to buy 3 or 4 skeins of yarn only to need 2. So that is another issue that, again, that will be an end of year issue. So yeah, but I'm doing really well so far. I've finished 19 books in 2 months. My plan was to finish 12 books in the year, so I've completely surpassed that. One thing or a couple of things that I find really helpful. So the first one is to speak to your library, because my library actually lets you loan out audiobooks. So a few of the books that I've finished are books that I've had in my to be read pile, and the library has free recordings of them. You get them for around 3 weeks. So it gives you plenty of time to get through them. I find that easier when I am on a commute or when I've got wasted time, if that makes sense. When I'm in the shower, rather than listening to music or rubbish on YouTube, I'll put an audiobook on. When I am doing the washing up or doing washing or cleaning or tidying or, you know, whatever it is, crocheting even, I'll have an audiobook on in the background so that I can concentrate on the book and also get stuff done so I can feel productive as well. That's my first bit of advice. That's really, really helped me. And also picking books that are a little bit shorter. So one of the main reasons that I wanted to start this crochet blanket is because I wanted to get through my library of to be read books. So I've got a bookshelf at the moment, and 2 sort of shelves of it are absolutely chock-a-block full of books that I need to read, or that I was gifted or I bought myself. So my plan this year is to narrow those down a lot and get through a lot. So admittedly, quite a few of the books that I've finished, I haven't actually read them from my library. I borrowed them from my local library. So although I've read quite a lot of books, my stash at home isn't necessarily going down. So that's something that I will have to improve this month or so going forwards. So when I went to the library for the Knit and Natter group, I didn't actually look at any books. I looked very briefly and walked away, and I didn't take any books out because I need to get my stash down, and that's the best way to do it, is to not be tempted. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. I don't feel as though I'm going to read as much this month as I did in February, because as I said, I'm going to be looking at longer books, and it'll probably take me a bit longer to get through them if I can. But yes, anyway, enough talking about books. This isn't a book podcast, this is a crochet podcast. So the next project I'm working on, it's sort of related to books. So this is going to be a present for my little sister. Is her birthday coming up soon? and she has very proudly got into the habit of reading a lot, and I wanted to make her something that was sort of, well, to be completely honest, I was looking at ideas on Ravelry and this one popped up and I just thought it was a really good idea. I've seen it around, but I didn't really think too much about it. So when I made her blanket last year, or for Christmas even, I had some yarn that was left over, and it was just sort of little scrappy bits that I didn't really know what to do with, and I was probably going to use them as pom-poms or something to decorate her package with, but I didn't end up using them in the end. They've just been stashed away somewhere. So the idea that I found was to make a granny stitch book sleeve, and the idea is by Racine Dreams, I think. As I said, they are on Ravelry, and it is just a very simple granny square, and it is just in the way that you fold it that it becomes a book cover. So that's the back. So I've used the yarn. You can't really see on camera the differences in colours. I've got a darker turquoise here, a lighter turquoise here, and then it's going into light blue, and then I will have the dark blue. So it does look quite ombre at the moment, which is really cool. And this is what I got done when I was with the Knit and Natter group. So I wanted something that was just really simple that I didn't have to think about, and this was that project. So as I said, it's really simple, just a granny square, and you just keep on going until it's big enough, but the way that you fold it is like an envelope. So obviously this is nowhere near big enough yet. You fold the 2 or the 3 edges into the middle, and when you sew it up, this then becomes the flap. So you put a little button here and your book slides in here. So I'm going to keep going until all of the yarn is finished. I'm hoping that I have enough to sort of make it considerably bigger, because I don't know many people who own a book that is this big. Yeah, so I have to keep going. It's not difficult at all. It's one of those mindless sort of projects that you don't have to think about at all. So far for that project, I have used 20 grams of yarn, and I've got 28 grams left. So I haven't used too much, to be completely honest. But as I said, I'm going to just keep going with it, and if I run out of yarn, I will look for some similar blues, greeny sort of colours that I can just finish it off with. But as I said, I'm really hoping I've got enough. What else was I going to say about it? So as I said, this was scraps from the rainbow chunky blanket I made for Christmas. It is Stylecraft Special DK, I think. I will try and pop the colours below, although this isn't the best way to see them, to be fair. So yes. It's not a long project. I think I will hopefully be finished it by the end of the weekend. I am looking to go to a different crochet specific group tomorrow, again at a different local library. So that's something that I can take along and just work on. I don't have to count anything. I just need to continue until it's pretty much done. So yeah, that might be quite a nice one to take along. So yeah, I will pop a link to the pattern below. I'm using a size 5 hook as well. So my camera just died. Let me just take a sip of my coffee. I feel like I need it. Right, so on to the next project. So the next project that I am going to start talking about has got a bit of a backstory. So if you watched the last podcast, you will know that I have become a little bit fixated on a jumper. I can't remember the name of it, but it's not a jumper, it's a shirt. It's a collared shirt and it looks absolutely beautiful. The design on it is a wavy design. It's sleeve to about sort of here, I guess. As I said, it's got a collar and it's got buttons down the front, and I absolutely love it. So shortly after I recorded the last video, I caved and I bought the pattern, and I am planning on making it, but I wasn't entirely clear on how much yarn I'd need before I started. I've looked through the pattern and I need sort of 150 grams per colour, and there's 4 stripes or 4 different colours used in the pattern. So I looked through all of the yarn that I have a big enough quantity for each of the stripes. It says that it's between a DK and a fingering weight. I'm going to go with fingering weight because that is the yarn that she's used. So I think it says something like DK in the pattern, but then the one that she's made is made with fingering weight yarn. So I'm going to go with the weight yarn that she used. I am also going to go with cotton. So the biggest amount of yarn that I have in my stash is cotton. And the reason that I've stalled so much is because the colours that I have for the pattern that I have that are enough aren't necessarily things that I would wear. They're not colours that I would wear or that would really go with a lot of things. I did have a look on the hobby website and they have beautiful mixed yarn packs, but the point in crocheting a lot this year is to get rid of stuff that's in my stash and to use it up. So the only sort of resolution I've come to is these 2 colours, which I picked out for a different pattern a while ago, and it was just too complicated for me to do, and I don't really have much motivation to finish it anymore. So I have quite a lot of these skeins left. So these are from Hobby. They're Cotton Kings skeins, and they are this beautiful, well, obviously light yellow and white. So what I think I'm going to do is just to work with these 2 colours. I've got enough for all of the stripes. I've got, each of these is 100 grams. Yeah, so each of these skeins is 100 grams. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 700 grams in total. So that will be plenty. But I'm a little bit disappointed because I would love to have had sort of a blue and white stripy one, but I don't think it'll be that tricky to complete, hopefully. So maybe if I love it that much, I can get another one. I do love the colour yellow, so that shouldn't be a problem. And I think the colours kind of go, and they'll be really easy to match. Just with a pair of jeans, they'll look great. So that put me off ever so slightly. So I started a different project with some yarn that I'd pulled out that was taking up quite a bit of space in my stash, and this is what it is so far. So it is called the Best Dressed Vest. Reminds me of Dr. Seuss, and I've just started it. So this is what I've completed in a day, really. So it's not complicated at all. Started this on Wednesday actually. So it's just double crocheted. Obviously you've got ribbon at the bottom. I will be building this up higher. I will duplicate this for the back of the vest, stitch them up at the sides and do some ribbon around the neck and I think the armholes as well. So it is a pattern by OTH Crochet Nook. Now the main modification that I've made to the pattern so far is that I have gone up to a size 9 crochet hook. So the pattern calls for a size 8, but it just wasn't big enough for me. The ribbing at the bottom was much shorter than it was meant to be. I think I did half of it and it came to here, which obviously you know, if you've seen any of my videos, you know that that's not going to fit me. So yeah, that's how much shorter it was coming up, which was quite a lot. So I went up a hook size, and with blocking it should be plenty big enough. I really liked the look of this pattern. It's quite simple to do. It's just double crochets and, as I said, ribbon, which I've done quite a lot. It's not necessarily difficult. The look of it looks quite professional and it looks really comfy as well. And an added bonus, I already had the yarn for it in my stash. So the yarn that I am using is this Women's Institute Soft and Chunky. There's 100 grams in each ball, and I have just over 400 grams to use. So far in this is 100 grams, and I'm not finished the first panel, but I am almost finished. So this is obviously the armhole just here. So I will have plenty of yarn left to complete it. So that's great. And to crochet with, it's absolutely fine. It's really good, to be honest. It's sold out in a lot of places, unfortunately. It's by Hobbycraft. I don't know if they only sell in Hobbycraft, but that's where we usually get it in England or across the UK, probably. It's really comfy and it's so squidgy as well. So you can see here how thick it is and how squidgy. So this is going to be a really warm sort of vest, sort of a jumper vest, I guess. I'm really irritated because I know that there's a word for it, but I can't remember the word for it or the name of it. So it's really fluffy. It's not fluffy. It's really soft and squidgy, and I think it's going to be really, really nice to wear. And just to go back slightly, the name of this yarn shade colour is Petrol. It's 70% acrylic and 30% merino. And as I said, it comes from Hobbycraft. Yeah, it's really soft and really chunky, and that will be quite a lot of yarn that's out of my stash. And I think that is it. I know that I've spoken about a lot of different projects and a lot of different books and lots and lots and lots. Obviously I've got 3 projects on the go at the moment. I'm hoping to have the Granny Square project finished very shortly, and this just works up so quickly. As I said, I did this in like half a day, I think. So yeah, it's looking really good. And yeah, apart from that, I will be reading and crocheting, finishing some projects, and then next month when I get back, I'm hoping that I will have finished some crochet projects and some sewing projects as well, because so far I haven't really done any, which is a shame, because I really want to sew some things to go to Italy with for my honeymoon. And my husband's honeymoon. If you are interested in winning a £40 voucher to my shop for the giveaway for reaching my 2 milestones, then please subscribe to my channel and leave a comment below saying what you would like to spend the voucher on if you were to win it. And I will let the winners know at the end of the month. I will not be taking into consideration any entries that are submitted after the 31st of March, midnight UK time, and I really look forward to seeing your answers. So thank you very much for watching this video, and until next time, take care. Bye.